Hello there, my name's Gary Sims from Android Authority. Now recently at IFA, Huawei announced the Huawei Mate S. Now it's built on the great foundation that was the Mate 7, however it is quite a different phone, and today we're going to take an in-depth look at it. The Mate S features a similar full metal body design as past Huawei high-end devices. But this one comes with an updated build including a curved rear and 2.5D Corning Gorilla Glass 4. Huawei says that the curvature has allowed it to thin out the edges and yet keep the overall profile to just 7.2mm. The result is a handset which is good to look at and surprisingly easy to hold. Looking around the device, the volume rocker and the power button are found on the right hand side. All the buttons are very responsive and easy to press and offer a good amount of tactile feedback. Although the phone comes with a double tap knuckle gesture to switch it on, this becomes redundant once you have configured the fingerprint reader, but we'll talk more about that in a moment. Up on the top is the headphone jack and the microphone. At the bottom is the micro USB port, flanked by two grills, giving the appearance of a dual speaker setup, even though in fact there is only one speaker, the one on the right hand side. Above the display is a speaker grille along with an 8MP front-facing camera, which also has its own flash. On the back is a 13MP camera sensor coupled with a dual-tone LED flash and the fingerprint reader. The Mate S features a 5.5-inch AMOLED Full HD display with a screen colour saturation of 105% of the RGB gamut and the contrast ratio of 1.8 million to 1. The result is that the viewing angles are good and the display is bright enough for comfortable outdoor visibility. Huawei has also built in a way to change the colour temperature of the display. Personally, I think the default is spot on, however if you'd like to make the colours colder or warmer, then the option is available under Settings Display. While Quad HD is the buzzword at the moment, the Full HD resolution with this size of display is more than enough, and no one will have any complaints with regards to the viewing experience. The display adds to the overall great experience of using the Mate S, and the AMOLED technology brings with it the deep blacks and vivid colours that make using this handset a flagship experience. Under the hood, the Huawei Mate S packs the octa-core high-silicon Kirin 935 processor. It has 4 Cortex-A53 cores clocked at 2.2 GHz and another 4 clocked at 1.5 GHz. This is backed by a Mali T628 GPU and 3 GB of RAM. Performance is as smooth as you would expect from this Huawei-made processing package, and very rarely will there be any signs of stutter or lag. Moving through the various elements of the UI is smooth, and opening, closing and switching between applications is fast and snappy. The device also handles gaming pretty well, save for the most graphically intensive games, where you might notice dropped frames. According to my test, the Mate S can run Epic Citadel at 35.6 frames per second in ultra high quality mode, and at 56.7 frames per second in high quality mode. As for Antutu, the Mate S scores 51,397. The Mate S comes with 32GB or 64GB of internal storage, and this can be expanded by a further 128GB via the microSD card slot. There is also a 128GB variant of the phone, which includes the pressure-sensitive screen, i.e. Force Touch. However, this model will only be available in certain markets. Although the entry model is quoted as having 32GB of internal storage, only about 24GB is usable. This basically means that 8GB of the flash memory is used for the system. This figure is a little excessive, and it goes a long way to explain why the 32GB variant is the entry level point, not a 16GB variant. The device comes with a standard suite of connectivity options as well as NFC and 4G LTE. Looking at the bands supported by the two different models that are available, it is clear that Huawei intends this to be an internationally available handset. As mentioned, there is a fingerprint reader on the back, placed within easy reach of your index finger. As with the Mate 7 before it, the fingerprint reader on the Mate S is of exceptional high quality. I've never really liked any of the smartphone fingerprint readers, and personally I think Samsung have done a bad job with the fingerprint reader on the S6 on the Note 5. However, the fingerprint reader on the Huawei Mate S is a joy to use. Yes, it's definitely one of the fastest I've used, and yes, it's also one of the most accurate, but the critical point is how it is used. Huawei's implementation is second to none. Using it is easy. You just need to register a fingerprint under Settings Fingerprint ID and then set which options and gestures you want activated, e.g. take photo, stop alarm and so on. I registered the index finger from both my left and right hands, which means I can pick up the phone with either hand and just press my finger on the reader to unlock and open the phone instantly. Also, the sensor on the back is not just a fingerprint reader, it also acts as a swipe gesture area. You can swipe down to pull down the notification panel, touch it to take a photograph, you can even touch it to answer a call. You can also use it in apps like the gallery to swipe through your photos. Moving on to the audio, the quality of the speaker itself is certainly quite good for a single speaker, and it can be very loud, in fact almost too loud. I have found that for listening to music I had to reduce the volume to almost half. But for those who like it loud, the good news is that even at these highest volume levels, the sound does not distort.
Into your word we're digging deep to know our Father's heart. Into the world we're reaching out to show them who you are.
As for the battery, the Mate S packs a non-removable 2700 mAh unit, which allows for an excellent battery life, with around 5 or 6 hours on screen time during a typical day, which would include watching videos, internet browsing and taking calls and using the camera. I did some individual app testing using Gamebench, and you'll be able to stream YouTube video over Wi-Fi for around 5.5 hours and play 3D intensive games for around 4 hours. The bottom line is that you'll get a full day's use out of this battery without worrying about how you've been using your phone. There is a little confusion about if the Huawei Mate S includes quick charge functionality. All I can say is that from my testing, it does not. The supply charger that comes with it is rated at just 5 volts and at 2 amps. What this means is that you can charge the phone from almost zero to fully charged in about 2 hours and 15 minutes. The Huawei Mate S comes with a 13 megapixel rear camera and includes a 4-colour RGBW imaging sensor plus optical image stabilisation. Also, the camera housing is scratch proof thanks to a sapphire protection. The camera app includes some nice features to enhance the shots that you take, including a super night mode, panorama, HDR and time lapse. There is also a light painting mode for long exposure shots. The built-in filters include car light trails, light graffiti, silky water and Star Trek. The image quality is excellent and the camera is capable of taking some really good shots with a good amount of detail and good colouring. As with most smartphones, the best results come from well-lit environments. However, indoor and low-light shots from the Mate S are actually quite good. If there is one weakness, it seems to be the image processor reacts too strongly to bright red. The handset is capable of videoing full HD in 16:9 from both the front and rear cameras. However, as you would expect, optical image stabilisation is only available via the rear camera. The 8 megapixel front-facing camera is coupled with a flash, which is more like a dim flashlight, but it's good to get that extra bit of light into a shot. The quality of shots possible from the front camera is quite impressive, with nice colours and lots of details. But as expected, some graininess is seen in poor light environments. There is also a whole set of beauty mode features, so the selfie lovers among you will not be disappointed by what can be achieved with a little bit of digital magic. The Mate S is running Android 5.1.1 Lollipop with the latest version of Huawei's Emotion UI on the top. This is a deliberate choice by Huawei and gets rid of the app drawer, leaving you dependent on folders to keep things organised. Some people insist on a stock Android experience, however personally I have found that the Emotion UI is a joy to use. The notification shade is divided into 2 sections, shortcuts and notifications. Although it would have been nice to have these 2 sections combined, the notification section is quite nice, with a little timeline on the left keeping your notifications very well organised. There is also a theme engine available to change the look and feel of the UI should you desire. Besides the software to manage the fingerprint reader, there are a few other built-in bits of functionality. One is a simple always-on speech awareness system that allows you to place calls by saying, "OK Emmy, call Joe." Another is a set of motion controls like flip to mute, and of course a knuckle gesture system. There is also a one-handed layout mode which temporarily reduces the size of the UI so that it can be used with one hand. Finally, Emotion UI has some support for dual windowing, mainly for use with the stock apps like Gallery, Notepad, Videos and so on. Overall, Huawei's take on Android is certainly different from the stock experience, however it can be said it's very sleek and very well designed. And there you have it, the Huawei Mate S. It's got this excellent 5.5-inch AMOLED display, a good processing package and an excellent camera. But when you add that fingerprint reader, it's very easy for us to give it our Editor's Choice Award. Well, my name's Gary Sims from Android Authority. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to Android Authority's YouTube channel using the subscribe button below. And also please use the comments below to tell me what you think about the Huawei Mate S. And as for me, I'll see you in my next video. Okay, Emmy, where are you?